All right, good morning, everyone. Shelley's Millions. Welcome to this morning's California EDD Unemployment Q&A Live. We will definitely talk about overpayment notices and waivers, submitting that PUA proof, and making sure that you log into your California EDD UI online account in order to get your 1099-G because you do need that for taxes. I've had people be like, "Oh, I'm just not going to include it." You definitely don't wanna do that. The EDD is definitely going to let the IRS know that you received unemployment benefits. I'm trying to log in so that I can actually see the wording on that so that I can share that with you guys. I feel like most of you that watch this channel, you guys know to go download. Dang it. Oops. Hang on. What's my password? Um, let me look at my password really quick. I want to make sure that I share with you guys that strong wording on including your 1099-G on your taxes. So I got to log onto my account so that I can see what it says. Aha, that's what it is. Okay. Nope, I still can't get my password. All right. Well, I'll go to your questions and I'll try that again in a moment. Okay. Vanjie says any talks about them expanding the Golden State stimulus for 600 for those who now qualify because their 2021 taxes put them in the taxable income of $1 to $75,000 income range. I don't think so because they were using the 2020 numbers, not the 2021 numbers. So I have not heard anything about that. What I have heard is that they are anticipating when they kind of balance California's budget later on this year that they are expecting a surplus. And if there is a surplus, there is a chance that they would do another Golden State stimulus, which is why, even if unemployment benefits was your only source of income, why I would suggest personally, it's just my opinion, to go ahead and file your taxes so that if they do something like another Golden State stimulus, that you would already have that sent in. I'm going to try logging on to my EDD account one more time. Come on. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to read you guys that thing. Okay, hi Sugar Sprinkles and the Big Cheese says I submitted my proof of income info to the EDD ages ago and still no news of anything. Did I do it wrong? Why is it taking so long? So it seems like a good time to remind everyone that as far as I know, at least as of last week, I haven't been in touch with Jenny Silver much this week. And that has to do with why I am wearing this outfit, which I'll share in just a second. As of last week, she still hadn't received her letter that notified her that her documents were accepted. And a lot of my viewers and people on the message boards are reporting that when they call the EDD, because they're starting to get worried that they haven't received notice that it's accepted, that the representatives are saying that they can see that it's approved on their end and they're not sure why they haven't been sent a letter and that they may never get a letter. However, I do have an update from my contact at the EDD, and he says that they will send out letters notifying you that it was accepted. But Jenny Silver submitted her documents right away, and she still hasn't received notice that they were accepted. Okay. I'm logging on. Okay, so here's that kind of scary warning. Bonnie Tone, also, I got your private donation. Thank you so much for that. And guys, you never have to donate. But Bonnie, thank you. I hope to see you at the movies soon. P.S. That's why I look like this. We are playing Licorice Pizza, which is set in the 70s. So I'm still a little bit done up yesterday. I just kind of redid my hair from what I wore to work last night. I like to, be a little themed when I can. Okay. This is what it says about the 1099-G in terms of reporting that your unemployment benefits when you do your taxes. It says, this is important tax information and is being furnished to the IRS. If you are required to file a return, a negligence penalty or other sanction may be imposed on you if this income is taxable and the IRS determines that it has not been reported. So basically, if you don't report your unemployment income and you're supposed to, it could cause you a lot of trouble down the line. So please, remind your friends. A lot of people have gone back to work and they may not be even thinking about logging on to their UI Online account. And that's what worries me. I'm not so much worried about those of you that are in this chat that stop by weekly, but I am worried about maybe some of your friends who've gone back to work and they're just not thinking about that. I will also say that last year, so for 2020 that we filed in 2021, I purposefully selected to get my tax documents online. But this year I did not select that and I haven't received anything in the mail. They were only available to me online. I don't know if it's defaulting because that's what I chose last year. So yeah, my point is I'm just a little concerned that maybe people have forgotten that that's income that they need to include when they do their taxes this year. Okay, so remind your friends about that. Olga says, can I upload my 2019 1099 even though I just sent it? As proof of employment, a proof of work for PUA, yes, if that's the timeline, and even if you just completed it, yes, you should be able to send that in and use that. And I'm proud of you for tackling that. And yeah, so Big Cheese, you didn't do it wrong. They're just lagging. Alex says, I got my 1099-G and did my taxes, but I think I can't complete my taxes because they want some sort of proof of health insurance. What's that called? A 1095-A or something. So again, I'm not a tax professional. I will say that there is a penalty if you didn't have health insurance for 2021. They actually reinstated that penalty for the year of 2020 as well. So make sure that you don't get caught with that this year. See if you can still enroll in Covered California. I haven't checked the dates on that. They do have plans, pretty low cost that will at least cover you. And the tax penalty for not having health insurance in 2021 starts at $800 per adult. So I'm so sorry about that. Did you have insurance in 2021? Or not? If you didn't have insurance, you'll need to be honest with the taxes and let them know that. Okay. Yeah, Olga, if you sent it, I would, and you have your completed copy, I would go ahead and submit that to the EDD. I will say that I think the EDD is able to kind of pull W-2 information, tax information. So I'm not sure if it's not registered with the IRS yet, how that will play out. But I would include it and I would send a letter. It doesn't necessarily have to be an affidavit, but I would send them like a little statement. I would say, hi, I didn't realize that I needed to do my 2019 taxes. A lot of people didn't realize that for self-employment, right? A lot of people thought that that was the minimum individual amount. But with self-employment, if you earned more than $400, you are supposed to report that to the IRS. So you just now realize that and you getting your ducks in a row and you've sent that in, which is great. I'm really proud of you for taking care of that. I would just say, I just mailed it out to them. And now I'm mailing you that copy as well. So I would just include a little short paragraph. I'm submitting you my 2019 tax return. However, I want you to let you know that I recently filed that with the IRS. So it's on its way to them and it may not be in their system yet. Something like that. Okay, Kitty Cat 33. Just sending a hello shout out for your channel. Well, thank you very much, Kitty Cat 33. I appreciate that. Do we work together? Was I wearing this exact same thing at work yesterday? Uh, minus lipstick because I had to have on a mask. I think so. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I go live every Sunday morning at 11 and Monday night at 9. At the place that I work that I don't disclose, um, although I give you guys some hints, we have a bar inside the theater, and we just opened it last Monday, and the company threw us all sorts of loops, and we hired 3 new bartenders. We brought back one of our old employees. We have now literally brought back everybody that wants to come back to work, and the new bartenders like seriously rocked. So if that's you, and we hired 2 cats, both with a K. So thanks for stopping by because I think that is you. Okay. Ben says, I like the 1970s outfit. You like the 1970s even if you were non-existent then. The cool American muscle cars. You want a black Mustang coupe from 1972 and name him Judas. My car is named Jason because I got him on Friday the 13th. Yay! I guess it's a him, my car. It's a little Prius. It's not very scary, but Friday the 13th. All right. Oh, thank you, Sugar Sprinkles, for reminding everybody to please like the video. Ray says, how much tax will you have to pay on $16,200 if you're on PUA? I didn't have any money taken out. It's so different for everyone, and it's possible based on your individual circumstances that you might not owe anything. Remember, you do get the standard deduction, right? Let's look at the standard deduction for 2021. To screenshot that before I get off of it. Standard deduction. I will tell you. Hold on. So the standard deduction for 2021, even if you were single, so like this is like the least amount that you're going to deduct from that would be $12,550. I better screenshot that too. I can tell you guys I have more videos that I need to make than I have time to make them. All right, let me get where's my calculator? I don't have one on the phone, but okay, so you made 16,000. Where's your comment? 200 minus 12,000. Oh, I should have done it on the whiteboard. What am I doing today? I'm out of practice. Okay, so that means if you had no other income, according to my calculations, and I'm not a tax professional, that would be $3,650. And then that would fall into the 10% tax bracket, I believe, which would be $365, which is a lot of money if you don't have other income. So you could arrange a payment plan. You could put it on a credit card if you think you'll have it paid off before you would owe interest on it. I'm going to be making some videos about selling things on eBay. It might be time to like do a closet clean out, see if you have any old instruments to get rid of, things that you're not using, and try and get a little extra money to get those taxes taken care of. But definitely go ahead and file it. And it's possible if there's other things going on in your situation that you would actually wind up with a refund. So I don't want to scare anybody because, again, I'm not your tax professional. I just did a quick Google search, but it's not going to be like thousands of dollars if that was your only income, or it shouldn't be, in my opinion. Kitty Baby says, I wasn't able to submit anything from 2019 because I wasn't working at that time, but I did submit my 2020 taxes and haven't heard anything since December. Is that a good or bad sign? Oh, that's something I forgot to mention. No news seems to be good news. And once again, Jenny Silver, as far as I know, she still has not received her letter notifying her that her documents are approved. And guys, we all know that she dots her I's and crosses her T's. There's no way that her documents are not going to be approved unless somebody makes a mistake at the EDD. Like I say that with 100% confidence. Jenny Silver's documents are going to clear the requirements, or else someone at the EDD made a mistake. But they haven't notified her that they're cleared and that they're accepted, which is frustrating. But I am using her case as a gauge because know with confidence that she submitted her documents really quickly when they asked for them and that she submitted them correctly. So we're still not worried yet. We're going with the no news is good news theory. Alex says, I'm on Medi-Cal the entire year of 2021, but they didn't send me any forms. Yes, if they're asking for that form, is there a box to check that you are on Medi-Cal? I'm not as familiar with that form. So yeah, I would call them. I'm gonna also say that I had really good luck calling Covered California. I got through, at least in comparison to the EDD, right? I would say that it took no more than 15 minutes on hold to talk to someone at Covered California. And I believe that they can answer your Medi-Cal questions. If not, you should have a caseworker, perhaps through the DPSS app or website, the Department of Social Services, right? They also do your food stamps and SNAP or CalFresh. And they're pretty good about answering as well. So, yeah, call, get that form. And yes, Medi-Cal counts as having health insurance, and then you will not have that penalty. Thank you, Olga. Okay, Vanessa. Oh, you like my outfit? Cool color schemes, oranges, reds, and browns. Yes, it's for the 70s. And then the night before, I wore like this weird, I actually love it. I wore that lime green sweater that kind of matches the sad baby Yoda face and like brown pants. And I also had my hair like real Farrah Fawcett. Thank you, guys. All right, Brad says you only started self employment at the end of 2019 and didn't make enough to file taxes. I filed as a non filer for the stimulus. I don't know what to send in. So, do you have any receipts? Amazon, guys, if you want to know like who you bought a present for 20 years ago, Amazon seems to have that information. You can log onto your Amazon account and just keep going back in the history. It seems like since Amazon started, like it really seems to have everything. You're like, oh, I bought a toothbrush 20 years ago and I really liked it and I want to buy it again. Please replace your toothbrush more than every 20 years. But Amazon seems to have it in there. So do you buy anything on Amazon for the business that then you could print the invoice for? It would need to be within the dates that they're asking for. Did you have any emails from anybody that they were going to like have their haircut by you? Or any messages that you were going to babysit, but they were no longer comfortable having you in their home? Did like anything extra? Otherwise, you're going to have to do a business plan or an affidavit or both. Like if you have like, I'm going to launch a website, I'm going to sell this, it's going to cost that, I plan on making this much. Something like a business plan. In theory, though, the business plan would have already been filled out like back in 2019, and you would just be able to reference that real quick, handy dandy. Or the affidavit. And I have a really great video on that. It is linked in the comments down below. But definitely don't ignore that. Send something in because that deadline is approaching for a lot of people. Okay. Jose. Oops. Jose says, I lost my place. He just says, what's up, Shelly? Not much. I'm feeling real 70s today. We've got a 70s themed movie at my job right now. And so I'm still excited about it. Okay. Linda, you were alive in the 1970s and your boyfriend at the time had a 1972 Dodge Demon. Wow, what a car. Thank you. Um, Unity Planet says you're waiting for EDD PUA to send me a 1099. Is PUA taxable? Yes. And again, I'm going to read that document. Please don't forget to include that, especially if you've gone back to work. But really for anybody, I am recommending sending in your taxes, doing your taxes, even if you wouldn't necessarily need to just based on income. And the reason is that if they do something like um, another stimulus, a lot of times the requirements to get that stimulus were that you had completed your taxes. So that's going to put you ahead of the game if you just go ahead and do that now. Also, I have a lot of hairspray, so my hair's not really moving. I don't ever use hairspray. I bought hairspray for this weekend. Okay, so again, this is the message about the 1099G from the California EDD in terms of your unemployment taxes. It says this is important tax information and is being furnished to the IRS. If you are required to file a return, a negligence penalty or other sanction may be imposed on you if this income is taxable and the IRS determines that it has not been reported. So that's as soon as you click, your 1099-G, that is right there at the top of that page. So you definitely want to make sure to still file your taxes. Okay. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. If you guys could like the video, I would really appreciate it. Oh, my coffee cup wow. It, like, blends in. Sorry, guys, I get distracted, but, like, does my coffee cup is my shirt? This is a thrift store dress, and it is made of polyester, and it was super staticky, and it's a little itchy. You can even hear. That's what I wore all night at work last night. Okay, drinking coffee. The Big Cheese says, I did my taxes and did the mileage deduction because you drive for Lyft, Uber, and DoorDash. Yeah, definitely take advantage of that. Frank, thank you. Happy Sunday to you as well. Ray, you are welcome. Unity Planet, and if someone is 65 and older, then there's an additional tax deduction, correct? Again, so here's the thing, right? I love money and I can talk a lot about like single taxes because it applies most closely to my situation. So that's how most people are, right? I'm guilty of that myself. I'm more familiar with it if it applies to me and affects me. Then my mom is over 65. I'm not sure about additional deductions. I think there comes a point in time where you can earn as much money as you want and they don't tax it. Ask a tax professional on that one. But my point is on the taxes is not to worry about it, to just go ahead and file it. The tax software is really easy. One of the things it will ask you is, are you over 65? I think it is taxed at least differently, and there may be some more tax forgiveness if you're over a certain age. Okay, Scotty, I should have gone to school to do taxes though. Maybe I should still do that. I love I love money and I love helping people with their money. Okay. Roy, you're welcome. Oh, we did that. Scotty says, you got your 1099s from 1095s from Covered California, but didn't get any form from Medi-Cal for your son. Maybe they don't send them. That's so weird. Or maybe Medi-Cal doesn't send it, or maybe so also, guys, you can use this free tax preparation software from kind of any company, H&R Block, TurboTax, Free File USA, or something like that. You can get all the way to almost the last page and then still decide not to go ahead and file with them, to go back and add something. There might actually be a separate question that asks if you were on Medi-Cal. So is it possible that you just haven't said, no, I don't have that, and gone on to the next question? Maybe the next question is, did you receive Medi-Cal through the state? That's a possibility at least. Scotty, maybe you could let me know that. Ben says, you need to sell some CDs because you have over 6,000 of them. Like, I don't listen to some of these bands anymore. I also tried to bust out some CDs. I was like, I pulled out my CD case. I was like, I'm going to drive to work and listen to CDs. And then I wanted to listen to Fleetwood Mac. I couldn't find the CD and I gave up and I played it on YouTube on the way to work. I also have a lot of CDs that are just collecting dust for the most part. Mine are so scratched though, because I listen to them in the car, which is bad for them. But I am going to be making videos about selling some of my things and decluttering and letting you guys know how much money I make from that, seeing if that's a side hustle. I'm hearing a lot about like eBay stores and all of this, and I'm curious and I need to clean out my house a little bit and I need money for my taxes. So it's win-win, I think. Okay, Renee says, I didn't file a Schedule C for 2019 because I didn't make enough business income. My case is in appeal. Do you think they will accept a profit and loss statement? Possibly. I would definitely have that handy to submit. Here's some important information on the appeal process. They only allow a certain amount of time for the appeal. So on your appeal date, make sure that you have any additional documents that you want to supply to them with you on hand, ready to like hold up on screen and possibly to upload. Um, in that case, you might also want to reach out to your assembly member because they've been really helpful throughout this entire process. And you would say something like this: "Hi, I have an appeal for my unemployment benefits coming up soon. I have additional documentation that I would like to submit." Renee, if you submitted the profit and loss statement with the appeal, it's also possible that the EDD will accept that and they actually won't make you go through the entire appeal process. But if you didn't submit it when you sent in the appeal, maybe see if there's a way for your assembly member to get that in their hands, in the judge's hands, like before your appeal hearing. Alex. Oh, thank you, Meg, for liking the sign. Yeah, you guys seem to like the sign. I was worried that it was come off like, I don't know, weird. Anyway, okay, I lost my place, but there I don't have too many comments, so I should be able to find it. Okay. Alex is thanking Scotty. You think Medi-Cal does send forms, or maybe they don't, so you just call them. 1095B. Yeah, go ahead and call. They're not too much of a hassle to get through to, so hopefully that call goes really easy. Oh, Catty Cat is not one of my employees. You found my channel with all my info when you were on unemployment and everyone looking for answers. You're not on unemployment anymore and you appreciate my channel. All right, well, thank you. And I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Big Bad Jerry says this person is totally going to be disqualified by the EDD, so tell them to be ready for that. What person? Crazy Cat Lady. I haven't commented on your streams for a while, but you just wanted to say thank you for helping you and everyone else. You guys are so, so welcome. Unity Planet said last year I received covered California 1095 in February. It was very late. Let me Google really quick, guys. How long, when will I get my 1095? Hold on, I'm gonna take off my glasses and move my hair. That's cute. Whatever. Okay. um, okay. If anyone in your household had a marketplace plan in 2021, marketplace plan meaning covered California, that they should send it but no later than mid-February. It may be available in your healthcare.gov account as soon as mid-January. And you do need that to file. Okay, let's look at the 1095B. May be delivered electronically or on paper, depending on whether you opted in for electronic delivery. Let me type in 1095B. Ooh, it says the 1095B should be in the mail by January 31st. So any day now you should get that. How do I get another copy of my 1095B? We're going to click that one and we're going to ignore my hair. Da, 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 da. Who do we call? Uh-oh. HealthNet. B, when will I receive it? What do I do? Okay, this is not helpful. It doesn't give me a number. But it's possible if they just finished sending them out January 31st that they're still on the way. Otherwise, definitely call either your caseworker or potentially Covered California. High spell legacy like death. Okay, Joel says, you did your taxes and the Uber mileage deductions did save me from owing a ton of money. When I did Uber, did I also have Lyft as a backup app if Uber was slow? That's what I do. Yes. And when I drove for Uber and Lyft, although it was more Uber, it was in 2014. And this was back when they would send you a cell phone to take the calls. So for the most part, like I used their cell phone for like taking the calls. And then when I figured out I could do Lyft too, I used my cell phone for Lyft. Like I found that kind of confusing though. And back then, Lyft didn't seem to pay as much as Uber did. So I don't know. I feel like I didn't have a very good system for that. I did it for about 3 months when my car, Jason, was brand new. My Friday the 13th car, and people would like put their feet on the seats. It was not I didn't like it. I liked talking to people. I never felt unsafe or anything, but I would dress like a straight up bum. Like I wouldn't have done my hair. I certainly wouldn't have worn red lipstick, always wore pants. I do feel like I feel like as a woman, like I felt like I needed to be a little bit more careful about that kind of thing, but I never had any instances like that, but I had a lot of intoxicated customers and they were just more annoying. Never any accidents in the car, but people wanting to like, "Oh, I have 5 people," and I drive like a little Prius C. I can't fit 5 people in the car plus me. It's like 4 is the absolute maximum, and they were like, "Can you just scoot your seat up so that, like, we can ride on the floorboard in the back?" And I don't know if it's still like this, but with Uber, I was made to feel like I needed to say yes, or else those people were gonna, like, give me a bad review, or, like, I was gonna get in trouble for canceling the ride, and so a lot of times I allowed stuff that I shouldn't have. I needed to set better boundaries, guys. Definitely with Uber, you have to set good, clear boundaries. And yes, I did do both though. But I think I preferred Uber. I've actually heard that now, and I might like this, people make pretty good money on DoorDash. It seems like people do it in teams though, because the one thing about DoorDash that I've heard, I didn't do DoorDash or Uber Eats or any of that, but it's hard to park at the restaurants, right? Like sometimes you're going to like a crowded crowd. You're going to the restaurant hotspots, Restaurant Row, Santa Monica. You're going to all these places, and the parking alone can be tricky. So I think that's why people often like if you're getting food, you'll see like the driver and a passenger because that makes sense to me. You could have the passenger like hop out, go get the order, bring it back, and then that way you don't have to deal with parking. Yes, and I am dressed 70s, still from, I'm still themed from last night at my work. We are playing Licorice Pizza, and, it's set in the 70s. We have Paul Thomas Anderson come and do, like, a Q&A. There's pinball machines, and our bar is finally reopened. So, definitely themed. Okay. Ooh, Pee-wee knows about some of the deductions if you're over 65. And part of the reason why I don't know more about that, since my mom is over 65, is because other than her business taxes, she doesn't make $400 in self-employment, so she doesn't file her personal taxes. But she does file her business taxes in order to keep like her seller's permit or her business license active. She says that like if she doesn't report, sometimes she only makes like $7. It's more of a hobby for her, the selling at the swap meet, but she reports it just so that she can keep all those permits and stuff active. Johnny, I helped you get through the pandemic. And Jenny, you're running your own business now, 3 weeks in, and you're happy. Thank you. What business are you doing? Like, how can we support you? I want to check that out. And that's amazing. Being self-employed takes a lot of discipline and dedication. And but they say that people who start their own businesses, even if the business fails, which knock on wood that it will not, but even if it does, like it gives you a better chance going forward that the next business you sign on for will do better. Thank you, Meg. Oops, dang it. Maybe I'm behind on comments. Oops. Unity says, I'm going to include all income from EDD PUA on your 2021 tax return, even though you will appeal their judgment that I need to repay it. So those are two separate things. The doing your taxes and submitting like and potentially getting an overpayment are kind of separate things. But yes, a lot of people have asked that. They said, "Well, Shelley, if I have an overpayment, won't that affect the amount of taxes that I need to pay on the benefits that I received?" And the answer is Probably. I would imagine that so if you pay taxes on the full amount and then you have to repay it, I would imagine that the year you repay it, you would get that as a credit back on your taxes. I am not sure about that. I'll ask my EDD contact about that. You guys, there's 56 of you. Please like the video. Lupe says, if I just did my 2019 taxes, how long should I wait to upload my Schedule C as proof of work? I would just go ahead and do it now. I wouldn't wait because my guess is that the deadline's coming up pretty quickly, but also include a little paragraph that just says, "Hey, I recently filed my 2019 taxes. I wasn't aware that I needed to send them in on the amount I made. As soon as I became aware of that, I submitted my 2019 taxes, and here's a copy of my Schedule C to prove that I was eligible for PUA unemployment benefits." But yeah, I personally, I think I would go ahead and do it now. If you do have any question about whether you should do it now or wait a little bit, you can call the EDD and ask them. And of course, I've got that claimer link if you need claimer to help you call the EDD. They also call about disability and IRS and the franchise tax board as well now. Bonnie says, over 65, you saw all the cool bands. That's awesome. You pay taxes, but there is a larger standard deduction for federal and personal exemption for California. Okay, that's awesome. Meg says, I've been trying to sell on Nextdoor's app and Craigslist, and nobody's buying my stuff. I have been binge watching eBay videos. Um, and I guess they say to all do it as like you just set a price and then do it as buy it now instead of like as an auction. I have a whole pile of clothes that I need to sell. This dress is not one of them, even though it's very old. The Big Cheese says, that's awesome. Have you seen Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath live? Aerosmith, Kiss. You want to go back in a time machine and see them. I think Aerosmith would be some. I'm going to sell clothes. Oh, but you're asking Meg what she's going to sell. And Rashad, thank you. Sunny Boy says, if I had a PUA amount that was more than the minimum, do I still have to upload tax documents? If you're being asked to if you see a link to upload documents on your EDD UI Online homepage, or if it says action required, and once you hit that, you get to a section where you find a link to upload your documents, then you would still need to upload PUA proof of work documents. And that depends on like when you initially filed your claim. So basically, if you have the link there and it's asking you to upload documents, then yes, you would. If you don't see anywhere on your UI Online page that it's asking you to upload documents, then you should not need to upload those documents. But that's a good question. Oh, thank you, Lil Rambo. Yeah, middle part, which apparently is what all the Gen Z kids are doing or something. But thank you. So one weekend only kind of look. Um, Angry Quelly says, I helped you figure out what documents to send in, and you got your notice a few days ago that they were accepted. You think the affidavit really helped, and you can't thank me enough. You are so welcome. Guys, I'm getting a lot of reports that the video that I made on how to fill out an affidavit helped people get their documents accepted. I do want to caution everybody, try and submit anything extra that you can with that affidavit. It does seem like the EDD has become a little bit more strict, but with that said, on the flip side of that coin, I have had lots of people tell me that they used the video that I made, filled out an affidavit, and their documents were accepted. So that is wonderful, and thank you for letting me know that. Uh-oh, spell legacy like death. Must have said something naughty. Okay. Unity Planet says your employer sent you a 1099 just now. Guess when they set my hours and gave me a raise, they thought I see, not. Now you'll have a large amount of tax due. Now you get to understand what employee and IC. I don't know what IC stands for. But yeah, the more you make, the more taxes they take, and it really stinks a little bit. Okay. But it's a good problem to have ultimately. And the more you make, the higher your Social Security benefits should be when you retire. So all of that should be good news. Scotty, I sent in my 2019 Schedule C for PUA proof and received the letter saying I was qualified 5 days later, just this week. Thank you for all your help. Well, you are very welcome, and thank you again for sharing that. Alex says, I was looking through all my mail and I actually have it right now. Okay, that's good. It worked out. I just needed to sift through my mail. That is awesome. I'm glad you found that. 1090B was in the pile of mail after all. All right. Well, I'm happy to have you here while you sort through your mail, and that is a happy coincidence. Thank you. Yeah, I need to have handy the person that made the sign. I got it off Etsy. Obviously, like that's just for my business, so I will be writing off the sign. On my tax bill is going to be a nightmare. I might make a video. I might cry in that video. But at the end of the year, I guess, is when all small businesses, the self-employed people, we all go out and like we buy things for our business. So that's also why I paid Jenny Silver at the end of 2021, even though we didn't meet up until 2022 for the tax write-off purposes. I hope that works like that. We'll see. Rio says, should I not even worry about sending anything in because gig workers may be excused? No, I have not heard that. You might be talking about overpayment waivers. And the overpayment waivers, even though California is asking the federal government, they're signing on with every other state saying, like, let's not make people pay this back. But it also needs to be through no fault of your own. And the EDD, it doesn't look like they're necessarily very lenient on the no fault of your own part. And it would also need to create a financial hardship for you to pay it back. The income thresholds, in order for it to be a financial hardship, are not necessarily very high. For a single person, for one person, you can't have a gross income, that's before taxes, of more than, if you made more than $1,351 a month average for the last 6 months, then they wouldn't approve a financial hardship clause for the overpayment waiver. And it does need to be both. It needs to be no fault of your own and to create a financial hardship. And just having a $1,351 amount as the threshold for a single person, it's not very much. I know that like all of my employees at the movie theater that are at entry level positions, they make more than that in a month, So even though they want it to be easier, I'm not sure exactly how much easier it's going to be. Siegel, I hope that you are really at the beach today. But yeah, Rio, send in those documents if they're asking for it. Sugar Sprinkles is reminding everybody to like the video. Thank you. Joel says, I've been doing rideshare for a while now, and despite, oops, dang it, how do I keep losing my place? And despite the mileage I put on my car, my little Toyota still hasn't given me an engine light. Only a small sensor went bad and easy to fix. I love Toyota. I also have Toyota. They have a very good reputation. Meg's also reminding everybody to give the video a thumbs up. So thank you for that. Francis says, true, self-employment is hard. No days off. Really like and off to work just now. You got a client. All right. Well, that is awesome, Francis. Francis is the last person, it was a long time ago, so this is not her fault, but she was the last person to color my hair for me. She did wonderful, and she's so nice. And Francis, it's time for you to come see a movie again. Big Bad Jerry says, it's pretty funny about getting the tax money back. Hello, IRS. The EDD told me I committed fraud and had to pay back my PUA. So give me the tax money I paid on my crime back, please. Yeah, and they're going to have to reconcile that somehow, right? And I'm not sure if that'll be an amended tax return or if, it'll be a credit this year. I am not sure about that, but hopefully you do get the tax money back on that. And hopefully you're going to appeal the decision and hopefully you will win. And I'm sorry about that. Okay, Vanjie says, where can you sell your DVDs and Blu-rays that you don't watch anymore? Can you sell them like at a thrift store? You can sell them on, honestly, eBay is going to be better for that kind of thing. And if you have like if you have a bunch of Disney videos, like make sure to look at the cover and things like that. My CDs personally are scratched, so I'm not even sure if I can sell them like that. But I still think eBay is the best place to do that. Thrift stores generally will not pay you for your items. If you're someone that itemizes your taxes, which most people aren't, most people, the standard deduction is better. But if you donate and you itemize and you donate over a certain amount, that could potentially be a tax deduction. But again, if you take the standard deduction, then you wouldn't be able to claim that itemization. Isaac, I'm not going to say your name right. Isekai. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not sure how to say your name. Isekai? Anyway, your question is, you had a verbal job offer back in 2020, but they canceled due to the pandemic, affecting their budget and business needs. I don't have any additional documents. Would the affidavit be sufficient? I would try that. If possible, can you still get in touch with the person that gave you the verbal offer? Do you have any email correspondence with them? I would try the affidavit, but if you have anything else that further proves that you were supposed to start with them, I would also try and submit that. Additionally, if for whatever reason that business is closed, they're not open anymore, I would also let them know that in the affidavit. Um, if it really is closed and you can't get a hold of anybody, that's kind of going to be your only option. You know what I mean? So if that's your only option, sending that in is going to be better than sending nothing in. You know, we have to do what we have and what we can work with, and if that's it, that's it. So good luck. Okay, Sugar Sprinkles says you could try Poshmark or Mercari, maybe even Etsy. You could donate to the thrift store, but you won't make money. Yeah. Unity Planet, you're an independent contractor. Now I don't remember what that's in reference to. Vanjie says, thank you. I just don't know where to sell them, but I think I could make a little bit of money from my Blu-rays and DVDs. I'm not asking for much. Yeah. Yard sales are possible. If you can get like the whole block to do a yard sale, and then that kind of would get a little bit more advertising. You can advertise a yard sale on Craigslist, or if you live like in an apartment complex, that's when it's really good to like get everybody together, like spring cleaning yard sale. And then everybody from the apartment complex sells their stuff and like advertises the yard sale on Craigslist, or like a block sale if you live in a house. Okay. GB Love says, what do I do if I didn't receive my California Golden State stimulus check? So just a couple things. Remember, if unemployment was your only source of income, then you wouldn't be qualified for the Golden State stimulus. You did need to have some earned income. If you still didn't get the Golden State stimulus, honestly, I would use Claimer to contact the California FTB, Franchise Tax Board. Claimer, even with my discount that's linked in the description below and in the top pinned comment, is still going to cost you $14.99. But they do call and get you through. And if you know, and you would have needed to file your taxes, your 2020 taxes, by October 15th of 2021. If you did that though, and you qualify and you still didn't get it, I would use Claimer and I would call them. Also, if you want to try your assembly member first, since that would be a free option, you could try reaching out to your assembly member. I also have them linked in the description down below and pinned in the top comment and chat. Also, there seems to be a lot of you guys in here. California housing is key, rent relief, rental assistance. They are still taking applications. They've kind of paused payments for a little while. They're waiting on more funding to come in, But if you still need help with that, if you think you're going to need help with that in the future, please go ahead and apply for that now. And you can use that for help with future rent. And I've had a lot of people say, well, Shelly, you have to be practically homeless to get those benefits. So if they say, are you at risk of experiencing homelessness? If this is true for you, this is how I would answer that question. I would say, um, while I was receiving unemployment benefits, I was able to make my rent. But now I've gone through everything I had saved up from unemployment benefits. And if I don't get help with rental assistance, then yes, I will be at risk of experiencing homelessness because my landlord is saying that they're going to kick me out if I can't pay rent or something along those lines. Like, if you don't get that help and you're going to be homeless, I would definitely mention that. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Sugar Sprinkles says, Akuna Matata. I like Mercari. Maybe you could have people do bundle deals and such. That's always pretty good too. Yeah. So, way back in the day, and I'm going to also say that I regret this. I have a lot of situations like this, guys. Almost had a lot of money and then didn't. I sold, I, my movie theater used to be above a Suncoast Video, right? Because we were in a mall. We've kind of relocated. But anyway, so every time new movies would come out, new VHS tapes, because I'm that old, I would go down and I would buy the newest Disney movie on the day they came out. So I had a lot of the really cool covers for those. And I sold all my Disney movies together as a bundle on eBay. In my defense, it was because I didn't want to shipping out things. I also recommend, for me personally, I don't want to list more than 5 things at a time because that's what I can manage getting shipped out in a week. Like, I hate getting dinged. I want to be rated high if I'm selling something. And one of the things that helps you get rated high is actually getting things in the mail. So I found that I could comfortably manage 5 items per week. So with my Disney VHS tapes, I didn't want to deal with sending them one at a time. So I sold them as a bundle. And I probably could have made a lot more if I would have saved them a little bit longer and then sold them one by one. But you have to weigh the pros and cons, right? How much time do you want to spend listing them? How much time do you want to spend shipping them? So it gets tricky sometimes. Okay. Lupe says, how much income do you need to make on 2019 so that you could qualify for PUA? So some people actually lost money on their businesses. There's no minimum amount that you need to have made to qualify. It was also for people who had job offers and that got canceled that had never even started working. So you don't need to have made any money from your business. And as a matter of fact, it's really common for people who are self-employed, for people who are starting a new business to lose money that first year. It's pretty common. And for me, my small business, it's possible that this year I'll lose money. We have to see how this year is going to play out. But there's no minimum amount that was needed in order to qualify. So send them in what you have, and yeah, you don't need to. There was no minimum amount. And it's even if you lost money, you could tell them that and you would still qualify for the $167 weekly benefit amount. All right. Oops. Sugar Sprinkles is saying you're welcome. Yard sale, you could just give me a brilliant. You should totally do that. If you do a yard sale, make sure that you have somebody else at home with you because you have to list your address, but do list that on Craigslist. Do make some posters. It can be on the back of a cardboard box. It can be on a scratch paper. Put up flyers in your neighborhood. And if you get along with your neighbors, if you know your neighbors, people that go to yard sales, if they know they can hit up one after the other, boom, 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 they might go to your neighborhood instead of just a single yard sale. So see if the other people in your neighborhood want to get together and do it's the equivalent of a block party, a neighborhood yard sale, I think it's just called. And then do advertise that on Facebook, advertise it on Craigslist, maybe Twitter. I don't know. Do people advertise yard sales on Twitter? Basically get the word out. Put it on your Instagram, have your kids put it on their Instagram, have your kids put it on their Facebook. Like make sure to get the word out for free, don't pay. But get the word out that you're having a yard sale. And then make your prices a dollar or two higher than you actually want, because people want to bargain at yard sales. So if you want $3, you tell them 5. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, of course, Unity, you are welcome. I go live every Sunday morning at 11 and Monday at 9, unless I'm traveling or unless something crazy is going on. Mayor Bear says, I filed and then got a letter from the IRS about taxes on last year's refund that they count as income. Crazy. Yeah, they do count refunds as income. Ooh, I wonder if I get to deduct what I paid last year in taxes. I'm gonna owe, guys. I'm gonna owe like 15,000. It's okay. You guys are probably not gonna owe 15,000. I will make a video on why the heck I'm gonna owe so much. Skid says, I told them I was recycling and they said okay. To question it after putting me through 2 months of ID me is duplicitous. I sent the affidavit, but it was not accepted, but no more letters so far. So call them. Call them again. I know it's frustrating to call. Let them know, hey, I was doing this as a source of income. That was my job. That was helping me feed my family. That was keeping me off the streets. And I was doing that as work. When I signed up, you told me that that was okay. I submitted the affidavit. I believe I am eligible for benefits, and sometimes the rep can actually fix it right on the phone. I don't know how they would count recycling, right? But if you were legitimately making money off of that and that was bringing in the income, at least try and fight it. And call the EDD, ask for a tier 2 rep, and then see if they can help you just switch that decision right over the phone. Some tier 2 reps can. And I'm also getting a lot of people say that they call the first tier 2 rep doesn't necessarily help them, but the second one does. You read that regardless of even if they made the mistake, we have to pay it back. Good luck in my case. Yeah, a lot of people are not going to be able to afford to pay it back, but appeal the decision, go to the hearing, and if necessary, request an overpayment waiver. And I'm so sorry, but good luck to you. Also, they're declining a lot of documents that they actually should be accepting. So I know it's frustrating to call the EDD, but I would at least try twice, talk to 2 tier 2 reps, see if they can fix it that way. Do send back the appeal and see if they're able to help you. Meg, you sell objects and collectible items. You find clothes very personal and they need to be tried on. I used to sell super fast in San Francisco, but in Oakland, it's slower. That's interesting because I would think that both of those are hot selling markets. And again, I totally binge watched all these eBay videos. It said like you're supposed to take measurements from shoulder to shoulder and like the waist and like the armpit to the leg or something like that. Um, and they say to take your pictures on a white background. So maybe try that. Um, like even if you can just hang it up on a hanger against a white wall, that might work. Okay. Okay. Skid says I bought a fan for $40 and sold it for $140 on eBay. Shipping was $60. So you were going to make 40, but then they sent your money back to the buyer. You kept it and eBay wants $90, so I'm out 190. That I'm so sorry about that. That's so awful. People are awful. When my grandma passed away, this was years ago. My grandma was she was an inspector for a company called VACO, and they made rocket ship parts. So my grandma, like, she was also a lesbian, but she looked very butch. But so she totally like inspected machine parts, but the machine that the parts were for were rocket ships. Like, I think that's just incredibly cool. But anyway, my point is, those people use a very like they use something called like a micrometer which is like a really precise measuring tool. So my grandma had all these measuring tools. We were poor, right? Had my mom's trailer. Well, actually, inherited my grandma's trailer, but anyway, because we had our own, and then we couldn't afford to pay for it anymore. So we lived in my grandma's trailer with her. It was a 3-bedroom, so it's okay. But anyway, we sold her tools on eBay, and like it's tricky. Like they're sentimental, but like me and my mom aren't going to use a micrometer. Those don't change with the memories of my grandma. So we sold them, and somebody claimed that they didn't get them. And like that sucks so bad because like every other person got everything just fine. So if they didn't get it, it was like their postman. And I think I sent it like certified mail, but then like it turned out they had friends. I don't know. Anyway, it sucks. I feel for you. That does happen sometimes online, but it was rough for me. It was a personal item. It's even rougher for you because like you're out more than you spent. Life, right, guys? You just get 1 foot ahead and then 2 steps back. Ah, we'll get it. We're gonna be okay, and we're gonna set goals, and we're gonna reach them. Probably have some setbacks along the way, but that's gonna be okay. All right. Ty says, I sent in my documents months ago and I haven't heard anything. So it seems like a good time in the chat to remind everybody that Jenny Silver sent hers in right away and she still hasn't heard either. I got to remember to just start these videos off like that and to like probably say that like every 15 minutes. So we're kind of operating under the no news is good news assumption. People that are calling the customer service reps are saying, "Oh yeah, I can see that you're approved on my end. I don't know why you haven't received your letter. Maybe you're not going to get a letter." But my contact at the EDD said, "No, I checked and they will still be sending out letters." So I don't know what the holdup is, but it's pretty common not to have received notice that the documents are approved yet. Um Yeah, that sucks, Skid. I'm sorry. Okay, Sugar Springs. So if we owe, they have payment plans, right? What's the minimum, do you think, and how often? Like every 2 weeks or monthly? I'm not sure. And I tried to ask my contact at the EDD. I was like, will they accept $10 a month? And he really just said that he doesn't know. They're probably gonna, it's probably individualized, like maybe they would accept $10 a month, I don't know, from someone who's not working at all. But maybe if like they ask you if you're back to work and you say yes, and then they ask how much you make and you're like, I make 2,000 a month, then they're probably not going to accept $10 a month. So my guess is that that's really individualized based on everyone's personal situation, and it's not going to be a one size fits all answer. But yes, they will work with you and they will, make some sort of arrangements, even if you were found to um, need to pay them an overpayment back. Did that make sense? Okay. I read if you don't file 2 appeals, you are up a river. I'm not sure about that. Sometimes there can be separate appeals, but send everything back and appeal it. Do we send in tax 2019 complete? You can just send in your Schedule C. Jenny Silver sent in her entire tax return. It's really up to you what you want to send. The Schedule C should be enough. And even with that, do include like a little statement, which I think I've said that several times. So I think you get it. Like, I am sending this now. I just realized I needed to pay my taxes. I have now filed those with the IRS and I am sending them to you for my PUA proof of work. Isakai. I'm sorry. I wish that like I could hear how to pronounce people's names. You were basically asking them again if they were sure they no longer had the position available for me. I've since lost contact with that person. Yeah, so send in the affidavit. If that's all you can get your hands on, then that's what you've got to send. Okay. You remember when VHS was invented? Big Bad Jerry says the EDD is declining PUA documents they said they would accept, which is completely the opposite of what I told us my EDD contact said. I said my contact told us that made it as easy as possible for people who bothered to send them anything. That is what he implied. He didn't flat out say that. Even though this overpayment notice in the recent EDD news release still indicates that they want to do that. I will say that a lot of people are seeing disqualified that shouldn't have been disqualified. I will also say that the EDD did kind of revise their requirements and they did seem to make them more strict. And so I was really worried about the affidavit video. I was like, oh my God, this isn't going to work. But this week, this exact week, I'm actually getting a lot of messages from people like on Instagram and in here even that are saying that it did work. So if you've been disqualified, it's possible that it's an error on the EDD side, and I would call the tier 2 rep and I would say, hey, I don't think they've changed their EDD news release. Even if they have, that one, I know it's been a while since I've done an EDD news release video, but I did make that one. Go back to that video that I made and screenshot that and say she was reading this right from a news release. And here you put it in black and white that you would accept this. And that's what I submitted. And then you changed it afterward. So on the one hand, it does seem like they're being a little bit more strict with what they're wanting and what they're requesting. On the other hand, I am still hearing people tell me that the affidavit worked. Um, and I don't really know what the change is in that. And I will also say that it seems like the EDD is just making an error in a lot of these cases that's resulting in people needing to call. But a lot of times after the phone call, they're able to reverse it so that people don't actually need to do the appeal right there. And I also want to say that even though he implied that he wanted to make it as easy as possible for people, he never flat out said that. And I don't think I said he ever flat out said that. He did imply that, though. He did definitely imply that. Okay. EMD says, I sent in both a personal affidavit and an official letter from the person who was going to hire me in April 2020, and the EDD accepted that documentation. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, and that's another thing is anything extra you can send in additional to the affidavit is going to help. If it's a receipt, if it's an email, like Frances, who cuts my hair, she and I text each other. I was like, "Hey, I can't find parking." Um, so if you have like a canceled flyer, if you have an email, if you have a text message that you can screenshot and include, any of those things will help make the affidavit stick a little bit better. Um, oops. Shoot. I'm skipping around because I am going to end this shortly. Big Bag Jerry says, is as easy as possible for people who bother. Oh, yeah. That's the last half of that one. Your grandma was under your care for 6 years. She was given a medicine and stroked several times. You lived 2 years secretly, cut you out of a $2 million trust you relied on to care for her 24/7. Family matters are complicated, and I'm so sorry about that. Pee-wee, you make jewelry, but now everything needed to make jewelry is so expensive. The prices on eBay for fixings have more than tripled in prices. How can anyone have a side gig anymore? Everything's getting really tough. EMD, the letter said no further action is required at this time. Do you think this will ever really go away? Yes, I do. I do. I know that that leaves kind of like a loose, open-ended thing indicating that they might need more information from you in the future, and I guess they've just left themselves some wiggle room, but I'm really hoping that this is it, and the letter that says no further action is needed from you at this time, that is a good sign. Oh, wait, Sugar Sprinkles, what did you not think of? Oh, the yard sale, and, like, getting everybody together and doing the block sale and advertising it, yes. Also possibly a swap meet. You might get more of a crowd at a swap meet, but I'll also say the reason why my mom only sometimes worked a whole year and made $7 is because a lot of swap meets will make you pay for the swap meet space, and You have to sell enough to cover the swap meet space. So if you can do like a community yard sale, I feel like that's a better route. And then that's awesome because you only have to deal with it one day and you don't have to deal with any shipping. Okay. You had to go to probate. Oh my God. Skid, I'm so sorry to hear some of that. PUA says the post office has raised their shipping prices too high now. Yeah. Hi Mel. This is so rotten. You hear radio ads for IRS debt forgiveness, but seems it's 15K minimum. Yeah, I don't quite know how that works, and I'm always a little bit skeptical of programs that seem too good to be true, I'm often skeptical of. Yay, grandma. Uh, Izikai, please, if there's a way to help me figure out how to pronounce your name, like spell it out, I would love to know how to pronounce it correctly. You actually have an old text message related to the verbal job offer, but it was timestamped after the period. Would that still be appropriate? Possibly. I don't like to send anything that would confuse them. If the timestamp is after the date, but in the text message it references the period that they're asking for, then maybe I would include it. Um, that one's tricky since it's outside of the date. If you do submit it, make sure to say, "Hey, as you can like, make sure that it clearly references that you were supposed to start or that the hiring process was, like, way earlier than that text message came in." Hi, Jeff. Jeff, I was in Sacramento last week, and I was gonna go up to San Francisco. I'm in Southern California. Jenny is in Sacramento area, and I have friends in San Francisco. I was gonna come up and see you guys, but you guys are in Hawaii, and I really thought about flying up there for a few days and meeting you, and then I thought, "Nope, I better get my butt home and unpack and try and, like, decompress so that I'm ready to go back to work." But I am so glad that you guys are having fun in Hawaii. I'm seeing all your, um, Facebook pictures and stuff. Isn't Have you been to Hawaii before? It's so, so beautiful. I won a trip, guys, from work, to Hawaii. I stayed in the Odell's Butter condo. Nothing about it indicated that it was buttery, except for they had Post-it notes that said Odell's Butter on it. So thanks, Odell's Butter. I will forever love you for that and also hate you because for a couple years after that, I put trips to Hawaii on a credit card that I loved it so much. But that was a once in a lifetime experience. But don't put vacations on credit cards. Okay. Oh, not the yard sale. The question about overpayment plans. You didn't think about it being individual. Yeah. Okay. I lose track of what we're talking about sometimes. Okay, Tien, you logged into the IRS to check the status. At first, it shows the bar that if I receive the next day, the bar disappeared just to show the payment status results. I am not sure about that. Just the tax year, I don't understand. It sounds like there's just like a glitch with the website. I'm not sure. Try checking it in a few days. And again, I'm not a tax professional. So, what would be going on with the IRS website? I have no idea. Trust are licensed to steal. All your nanas trusted tried to hide over 1 million. That's crazy. In some ways I'm lucky because my family didn't have any money, just my grandma's tools and the trailer that's from like 1956 or something. It's still standing, it's still doing good. Um, Mel, you did try to help your other friends, so hopefully it works. Yes. Always get tracking. I feel like I did. And like I think what happened was this person had a friend at the post office and they said that the package arrived like open or something and that the contents were no longer inside of it. But how convenient that they had a friend that worked at the post office and oh, like it arrived open with nothing in it. So that's how I was out of that. Um Okay, Rosa, can you appeal the taxes? Because they say we owe taxes on the extra money we got weekly and I can't afford to pay it. I don't think you can appeal taxes, but you should be able to arrange a payment plan. And I'm so sorry, but yeah, the extra boost was taxable, but the EDD was not able to withhold taxes from it. So if you're now in a situation where you owe, that is accurate. So I don't think that they can just forgive the taxes, but they should be able to arrange a payment plan for you. I'm so sorry about that. Oh, your name is pronounced like Izikai, like kite, Kite. Isekai. Isekai. I think I got it right. Isekai. All right. I'm trying. I just want you to know that. Okay. Skid says your sister was elated to sign a waiver. This is so crazy. Thank you for sharing your story, Skid. I'd love to hear more of it, but I am going to take this one last question and then I'm going to go ahead and head out for the day. And the question is going to be from Christine. It says you're hating how long it's taking for your taxes to be approved. They've already been received and processed. Hopefully you get your refund soon. It always sucks waiting on that. Usually I feel like it takes like 10 days, even if you get direct deposit, 10 to 12 days to hit your bank account. I hope you get that soon. Guys, if you have any more questions, I'll be going live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Oh, wait, they're saying your wages were significant. So I'm reading Basketball League 2022's question or statement. Thank you, Mary. I'm about to hop off today. But Basketball League 2022, does that mean that they're saying that they're sufficient and that their documents are approved? Or they're saying that they're like too significant for the overpayment waiver? I'm not sure what you mean by that. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat for one more minute. So now you have an overpayment. So are they saying that they weren't sufficient? That basketball, can you try and leave? Because it's hard to determine things from the 200 characters that they allow. If you disagree, definitely file an appeal and or an overpayment waiver. They said your wages were input incorrectly. That sounds like their error, which would be no fault of your own. Did you accidentally report net income instead of gross income? Anyway, if yes, or Mary, if you want to give me a heads up so I can think about your question after I end the video, I'll Google tax relief. Okay. Optima tax relief. I will do that. And guys, if there's anything else you want me to look into, leave it in the comments after this video and I'll try and check those before tomorrow's live at 9 p.m. Okay, and so basketball, they're saying that you made too much money to qualify for the overpayment waiver. Yeah. So the waiver would essentially make it so that you didn't have to pay back the money, but the income threshold is really low for that. So I don't know if you can see that there. So if this is the income limits for the overpayment to be a financial hardship, and for one person, if you made more than an average of 1,300, is that 21 or 51? $51 and you're single, then you wouldn't qualify for the overpayment waiver and you would need to pay it back. If the overpayment also was created, the overpayment first would need to be no fault of your own and then would also need to create a financial hardship. But the income threshold to qualify for the financial hardship is not very high. Yeah, like 1,000, what is that? Let's read that again. $1,351 a month, and that's average over the last 6 months. I'm going to divide that by 4 to get the weekly amount. 1,351 divided by 4. Some weeks have 5 weeks in them. That would be $337.75 a week. And then I'm going to divide that by 15 because that's kind of minimum wage. So basically, if you worked more than 22 hours at minimum wage on average for the last 6 months, you wouldn't qualify. And if you make more than minimum wage, the amount of hours you could work would be even less. So try and make a payment plan with them. Do you actually, the overpayment, you definitely owe it? Did you already file the appeal? Did you have your appeal hearing where it's just like, that would be like if you disagree and you're like, no, I shouldn't owe you this money at all. Like I did deserve this money. Or was there actually like an error on your account that makes it so that you need to do that. Either way, I'm very sorry. If you do owe them the money and they're not able to grant the overpayment waiver, then you would need to arrange a payment plan with them. You haven't filed the appeal. They're going through my records to see what I owe. I I would file if you don't think you owe it, I would file the appeal, and I would send any extra documents that you have that further clarify that you were eligible for the amount you received. File the appeal before sitting down to pay them any money. That would definitely be my advice on the first step. But yeah, to qualify for the waiver, the income threshold to qualify as financial hardship is not very high, and that stinks, but that's what it is. So if you don't pay the overpayment, dang it, I bet I didn't screenshot this. So they can, dang it, I didn't screenshot that. They can take your tax refunds until it's paid off, so they can take your tax returns for all of eternity. If you're back at work, they could begin garnishing your wages up to 25%. I actually had a roommate that had that happen to them. Yeah, they can garnish wages. And like some of that stuff starts accruing interest. So if you know that you owe it to them, I would try and make a payment plan and get that going as soon as possible so that it doesn't get to the point where the wages are being garnished. And if you don't think you owe it like at all, I would go through the process of appealing. All right. Basketball league. I'm so sorry about that. Like that sucks. Like nobody wants to get an overpayment note. They can take from your bank account directly. I have to look into that. They can also put a lien on if you own like property, they can put liens on the property. Hi Debbie, it's the little green guy, and I'm very 70s today themed. Oh, let's do Debbie's. Your friend had 6,000 taken out of their bank account directly. That's terrible. I got to look into that because I don't think I realized that. So if it's your primary car and your primary residence, I don't think they can like take that away from you, but they can potentially put a lien on it so that if you were ever to go and sell it, they potentially could get some money from that. And like lottery winnings, don't we all wish we won? Like who cares? If I win the lottery, take it. But I guess like they're talking about like $1,000 or something like that. Sugar Sprinkles is saying, yeah, they're going to get their money one way or another. But they cannot take like if you only have one car, they can't come take your one car. If you had multiple cars in your name, even if you're letting other family members drive it, I'm not sure about that. Should you pay off your credit card bills now so they can't take my money? Possibly. Also, with credit cards, unless you have a 0% interest card, like with a promotional rate, which I love those. Now, see, I'm talking about credit cards. If you have a 0% promotional rate, maybe not. Everybody should be honest. But maybe you don't want the money in the bank. I don't know. If you can't afford to pay that money back right now, I would arrange a payment plan. I never like to have money sitting in a bank account regardless. Like I would either have it in an investment account. Even savings right now, they're saying loses money because of how high inflation is. So I normally have my money invested in the stock market. I'm not very good at that yet. But yeah, just be careful with all that. Be honest and just arrange a payment plan with them. That would be my advice. And I don't know like how quickly they go to take the money out of your bank account. Maybe Fuzzy Chocolate knows. I feel like first they try and like arrange a payment plan with you. Like they try and get you to make good on that money first, I think, before they would like it's not just like tomorrow they're going to pull that money out of your account. I don't think. So try and arrange a payment. Yeah. I think it takes a long time. Like they're going to try and get the money in other ways from you before they just take money out of your account. Fuzzy chocolate lost 4,500 last week on your stocks. Yeah, I haven't even looked, to be honest. It's depressing. The stock market not doing well right now. But they usually say buy the dip. And I'm not a stock market expert. This is not financial advice. And I don't have all my money right now is going to go to pay my taxes. But it might be a good time to get your 2 free stocks with Webull linked down below. And the reason why now might be a good time is you'll get like a cheaper stock and then hopefully it goes up. That's the plan. You only lose if you sell. I've sold at the wrong times. And since I'm not saving much money in a savings account right now, and it more is in stocks, I'm probably going to have to sell at a loss in order to pay my taxes. But that's my choice. Anyway, and I'll share that journey with you guys. All right, AMC to the moon. Because our bar reopened at the movie theater. So Debbie, the number 1 movie this week was Licorice Pizza, which we're playing in 70 millimeter. Our bar reopened and I've got so much hairspray in, guys. I don't ever wear hairspray. I had to buy hairspray for this event. But I dressed 70s all weekend, like for the theme. And I'm not sure. I kind of feel like this dress is 60s, but whatever. It's what I had. And it's fun to like kind of dress up and like, I actually kind of like my hair like this. So maybe it's coming back. Pelosi stock moves. That's what I've heard. I've heard to watch her. Her husband's like some big hotshot investor, right? And so she kind of does what he does. I didn't get my free NFT for going to watch Moonfall. So I had my ticket to Moonfall. I don't feel like I lost money on the ticket because I have AMC stubs. I don't work for AMC. I can say that. You're not allowed to get the free NFTs if you work for AMC. I work at a company that did not offer that promotion. So I had a ticket to see it through my AMC stub. So it feels like seeing movies for free. It's very affordable if you see movies like $23.99 or $24.99. But I had a ticket where I would have got the free NFT and I wasn't able to go because we were getting our bar open. But the bar opening went really well, so there's that. Okay. All right, guys. Basketball. I don't know if Sugar Sprinkles helps me out of the kindness of her heart. She must be so bored of hearing me talk about all this by now. I'm not sure how to get in contact with her or if she even wants that. I know in terms of me, sometimes be careful. Don't respond to anybody pretending to be me. Don't responding to anybody asking you to DM them. But maybe post as much of your situation as you can in the comments after this video. Sometimes the community is really helpful in getting information, and I'll take a look at that and I'll try and like look at any information I can. Guys, also I have a website, but Debbie said, so I have shellysmillions.com. Jenny Silver helped me set it up. Debbie reported that the email's not working, but I'm going to type it in. The website is shellysmillions.com. Oops. A little funky. I got to work on it. And the email to reach me there is shelly@shellysmillions.com. But Debbie said it's not working, and honestly, I have not had time to look. Okay. Yeah, ask a question in the comments, and we'll try and be helpful, but don't DM anybody. If I ever want you guys to DM me, I will tell you in the chat, and I will like look right at the camera, and then I'll say DM me. And unless I've said that, it's not me. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I will see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. I don't know if I'm going to look 70s tomorrow. We'll see.